usually dunk on Gen Z on this show, but I think it's time we turn our attention to Gen Alpha and the complex slang language that they have developed to communicate with each other, mostly online. And this is consider this your official guide to the ever-growing dictionary of Gen Alpha slang. People still refer to Gen Z as the youth generation and kids, Gen Z kids, but the older side of Gen Z is nearing 30 at this point, so they are not going to be the dominant voice on social media for very long.
Mary on many occasions tells me she feels old because of the
I don't understand the younger side of my own generation, let alone Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
So this millennial parent recorded a video with her Gen Alpha daughter comparing millennial slang with Gen Alpha slang. And there are some examples in here, but we'll go further in depth.
We need Martin Scorsese to make one of these.
Yeah, he already makes a lot of TikToks with his granddaughter.
Yep.
Smart. Gert. Good. Owen. Bad. Kevin. You guys. Chat.
I just noticed that the pro wrestler Kevin Owens gets both of those.
Oh.
Lose it. I'm gonna crash out. I don't care. Blah. Try hard or affirming. Focus. Lock in. Okay, how about this one? Shook, as in I'm shook. What?
So that girl looks like she's about, what, like 13 years old?
Why did the kid look like she was being held hostage there? Like, the kid looked like not interested in making the video.
Average TikToker's kid.
Yeah.
If she's 13-ish, that means she would technically fall into Gen Alpha at this point because they started in the year 2012. Especially the iPad kids. Yeah, I hadn't even heard that one before. And some of these are different regions of the country and other countries. There's like a whole different Gen Alpha slang dictionary for Canada.
Well, it wasn't, you wouldn't even think of it before the age of social media. You wouldn't even have thought of slang as a generational thing as much as you would have thought of it as a regional thing. Now, plenty of slang kind of transcends generations. That makes sense through movies and culture. But for instance, skaters had slang unique to their, you know, where they grew up.
Right.
There was the universal words that everybody knows, and then there were.
Give us an example of the skater slang that nobody else used.
In Minnesota, we used gear, and it had like 9,000 meanings.
Okay.
It could mean anything.
What is the weirdest one? It didn't refer to just gear that you used while skating?
No. We had in a lot of ways we had our own language.
Okay.
It was unique to the Midwest.
Well, there is a lot of overlap even in this video between Gen Alpha slang and Gen Z slang. Like lock in is something that Zoomers say all the time. Crashing out.
The names Kevin, Owen, that's an op from Gen Alpha because they're these TikToks that get passed around of like, this is what this means now. So they're coaching each other to confuse us.
They're adopting a lot of
Whereas the Zoomers, it's organic. It happens where they're like, no, here's the sheet, and if you don't call it Kevin, like you're. It's like.
So I found a resource called Skibbity Times, and this website, this reputable outlet, put together a growing dictionary of Gen Alpha slang, and I tried to put together a list of the deep cuts, ones that maybe we haven't talked about or heard before.
Okay.
One of them is bop, and it doesn't refer to a song. It refers to an online hoe, usually an OnlyFans model.
There's a bop house now.
Yep, that's why the bop house is the bop house. A canon event, which is any life-changing moment. That might contribute to one's individual lore.
It's like when people say core memory.
If you like want someone to explain the context of something, you ask them what's the lore, or like what's someone's lore. And then this one I hadn't heard before. It's an acronym that I think is pronounced CIRB. It's CIRB. Chill, I'm rage baiting. Have you seen that before?
That's not a thing.
That's a thing though. They're saying it's a thing. If you think it's not a thing, that just means that you're unk now.
CIRB.
If you haven't heard of it, you're unk.
I'll talk to my sources.
Okay, and then chat, of course, is referred to any group of people. because they watch streams, and they're referring to the group of people watching.
Can we get Serge in here on satellite?
Yeah, we need him to consult on this.
Chat's
Chopped,
the first second person verb, not whatever it is. It's the first second person word, because you have first person and third person.
Yeah.
Chat's the first second person.
Chopped is just ugly. That's another Zoomer term.
One.
But in the UK, instead, they say clapped.
That's a good one.
Have you heard chuzz?
Chuzz, yeah.
Chopped huzz.
Yeah.
Huzz is referring to the hose, so it's like if you're scaring the hose, you're scaring the huzz.
And in church circles and Christian circles, we say chuzz refers to church huzz. It's a completely different thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing. It's actually a respectable term. It's a compliment.
Phantom tax, stealing food off someone's plate. Fiending, you desire something.
Fiending goes back, like that's multi-generational.
Yeah.
That goes back to rap lyrics in the 90s.
It's getting recycled. Fine shit is referring to, I guess, maybe the person you would call a girlfriend or boyfriend in generations past, but it's spelled SHYT. So sometimes you say fine shite.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds very British.
You have options.
If someone is going on for too long and rambling and not getting to the point, you say fries in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm always fries in the bag.
You can also get.
Have you heard that one?
No, but that's me.
Yeah.
I'm the rambler.
Then there's glazing, which we know is like heaping praise on someone. Okay, then girt. I was new to that one, but it's not just a noun. It is also used as a verb. You can be girding, and you can also refer to someone as girt and say, "Yo, girt." Get it? And
very recent thing.
In the video, she says girt means smart, but when I looked into it, it says girting is making a bold or risky move to impress someone or shoot your shot.
Right, because it's a very recent development. This has transpired in the last months, where people would put yo, and then someone would reply girt, and everyone's like, oh man, Gert's always trying to insert himself into the conversation by saying yo. So if you're girt, that means you're very forward.
Okay. You're
trying to butt into the conversation.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Everybody creates a new language for
the etymology is very fascinating.
Didn't they do this in Clueless, where every time Cher said something, her dad's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like what?
Wasn't that part of the movie? Wasn't that part of the movie?
I don't remember that, but...
Oh, they did it in... Somebody mentioned, because I mentioned skating, they mentioned the movie Airborne, but also in the movie Brink, the Disney movie, he uses language constantly. The dad has no idea what he's saying. He's like...
Like what?
And at one point he's like, what's up, Dad? His dad's like, English, that up.
What's up was considered
No.
slang?
He's just... there's just a bunch of slang in that movie that's relevant to the 90s.
I was recently stalking a relative on Instagram and going through this person's following list, and I found these confession pages for my relative's school.
Oh, those are insane.
And
Wait,
yeah,
what? I don't even know what this is.
What they do is they create like, let's just say it's like I'll say UNC. It says like UNC confessions or UNC crushes, right? And there are like tons of them for each school. And they have a Google form in the bio, and you go to the Google form and anonymously fill it out. And most of them, were they confessions? You say like, do you want the person to know who you are? And then like, what's your message for them? And it was a ton of them that were like, I saw you in the cafeteria yesterday. I was wearing a brown hoodie. You were so cute, but I couldn't convince myself to go up and talk to you.
It's like the Craigslist misconnections.
But then
for the next generation.
Then they say, no, I don't want you to find out who I am. So like, what was the point of sending the confession?
Right. Just to get it off their chest, apparently.
I guess.
My school had like wild. I vividly remember someone said like in the school confessions Instagram that they like drew a pentagram on their friend's desk. And they were like confessing it on there, and I was like, deal. That's so dumb because you only have one roommate, so you know exactly who it is.
Another one I hadn't heard was an acronym IKIAB. Have you seen this?
IKI.
It's I keep it a buck.
Oh, that's not a thing.
Which means keep it 100 with you. Like, I'm gonna be real with you.
That's another one. I think I keep it a buck would be an older expression.
You can also keep it a girt,
You
which
can keep
adds
it a
more
girt.
emphasis that you're telling someone the truth. You're keeping it 100.
I always want to be the mythical character in the movie that's the old guy that stays up on technology and stuff like that. Because when you give in, when you cede ground to technology, you kind of die a little bit sooner, one day at a time. But you know, the language part, I'm afraid I won't be able to do that.
I'm gonna keep it a girt with you, Brett. You're not keeping up.
That's true.
JS, just saying.
That's a classic, yeah.
That's been around for a while. TS, this shit. Okay, but some of these acronyms, they're using all acronym sentences as a joke about how many acronyms there are. So like TSPMO, this shit pisses me off.
Why must everything be poisoned by irony?
SYBAU, shut yo bitch ass up.
That's a good one.
But
that one gets dropped in the
don't
group chat
ever say it outside of the acronym context.
And you'll also see on Instagram when you get this long chain of abbreviations, it'll be followed by a broken heart emoji and like a sad rose emoji.
And the rose with the petal falling
rose,
off. Yes.
It's very good.
I'm assuming Brett hasn't seen this in your Reels algorithm. This isn't really
I mean,
up.
I'm on Instagram less these days. I reached.
I think you should say the slang and then ask Brett what he thinks it means.
No, this is not. Okay, don't put me on.
Like cross-examine him.
No.
Okay, I'm trying to find one. Vibe coding.
I have no like. I don't even know what that means.
Vibe coding. It's
have you heard this?
Aura farming makes sense to me.
I hadn't heard of vibe coding until today.
Vibe coding.
Yeah.
I would assume what vibe coding is. What is their definition of vibe coding?
Is it like creating the vibes?
No, it's actually referring to using AI to code or build apps without actually knowing how to program software.
So you're building the app out of with vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so they're just creating silly ways to admit incompetence. That's amazing.
I was quizzing my mother on this one the other day. Do you know what chuggy means?
Yeah, we've used the term chuggy.
Mary uses chuggy.
Something like outdated, millennial core.
Right. That's my favorite one.
Sort of, it's cringy, but it's not the same thing as calling something cringe.
Right, because it's like, this doesn't make me cringe. It's just, I'm acknowledging that this is a bit, outdated.
I feel like for a while, one of them was like bucket hats or like fake Gucci slides were considered chuggy.
Yeah, like basically like Supreme box t-shirts or chuggy.
Like millennial streetwear.
Right,
Those printouts from Home Goods for sure.
Yeah, it's very chuggy, yeah.
Then I saw a different definition for Kevin, but it's just a generic name that you give to any guy who's like cringe or annoying.
Oh.
And then Owen would be referring to any guy who is like, he has like a lot of aura.
See, it feels like they're trying to subvert expectations, because in the past I feel like it would be the other way around. Like Owen would be the bad one and Kevin would be the good one. But Kevin is a bad name now because it's too common?
Well, Kevin was always the underrated member of the Jonas Brothers, so
there
that one made sense to me. Low taper fade. Can you guess that one?
Like what do you mean by the reference?
Like when they say that, like what's the context you would guess?
I have no idea. I hear it I hear it all the time. It never has any context.
Have you seen
doesn't
this?
It mean you're dragging something?
It doesn't. I thought it was, you say low taper fade about somebody who's like doing online thirst traps after getting a haircut.
Oh,
you get a whole new personality with this haircut.
Because the meme came at such a long etymology. Essentially, like Ninja, the gaming streamer,
yes,
he's dragging it. So you would say like, oh wow, like when you see low taper fade, it's like bro's still dragging it.
What do you mean? Like
he's extending the shelf life of something that needs to die.
Like it's still going on,
right?
Because they keep getting it.
Okay, I trust your definition more than what I found.
This is just how I see it used.
Jelly House mentions low taper fade in just about every song, and he's
low taper fade at this
maker.
point is being dragged as a euphemism. So
MC is just short for main character, which Gen Z popularized. Mogging.
That's a classic.
Mogging, a lot of people don't know, came from an acronym in the first place. AMOG, alpha male of group. So if you're mogging someone, that means you're the alpha, they're the beta. Ohio and skibbity are just
Classics.
anything that's bizarre or weird. Pla, I had never heard that before.
Pla, I'd never heard pla.
But it just means, like, I don't care.
That sounds like something you'd see in those, like, Toronto street interview videos.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.